guys, this is Tina from Shabbydabbydoodah. Welcome back to my channel. So I'm back again with those collage masterboards, the square ones that we did. Now I have to say I'm filming this on the same day that I made them, so I haven't yet got the hashtag sorted. I will try and do that. So yeah, I will put the hashtag obviously at the top of the video so you know kind of what it is, if you're wanting to join in and do one of these little, you know, collage square masterboards. So what I want to do is just fill in some of the bits with some lace. We did kind of look at this a little bit at the end of the last video where we made these, and I just thought, yeah, let's just put some lace bits. Oh, I thought perhaps that would look good, but actually I'm not sure that does. So yeah, I'm going to stick with the white lace. So yeah, I've got some white lace here, so I'm just going to cut it down, and yeah, we're just going to literally take like some little bits and cut them down and stick them on in random places. Now I'm just going to tear that header part off because I just much prefer it without the header part of the lace. So yep, let's get rid of that off there as well. Okay, so I'm going to just literally put some lace in random places. Now I don't want to be kind of like too obvious with where I'm putting this, if you see what I mean. Too obvious? Too deliberate, I suppose is the word. I just want to kind of like have it randomly, you know, randomly around. Now, obviously, when I cut these, you know, I will probably cut these in the, not the logical, well, I suppose the logical places, the obvious places, i.e. it's going to probably be cut, you know, here and then here, because it's lending itself to that. You know, it's kind of almost determining where it's going to be cut already. So sorry if you can hear lots of noise going on. My daughter is downstairs. She's not, well, allegedly wasn't feeling very well. Allegedly had a sore throat, although I can now hear her kind of shrieking and things at the dog. So her throat's sounding like it's made a miraculous recovery. Oh, feeling a little bit like I've been conned there, but... So, no, she has got a sore throat, and ironically, she had kept on losing her voice. Not that you'd know it now to hear her, but yeah, she had been losing her voice. Right, so yeah, just going to kind of put some little bits of lace kind of just dotted around. And like I said, I mean, I'm trying not to put them in like, yeah, the obvious places. And when I say that, what I mean is, you know, kind of like where it would be, you know, like if I'd cut these into sections. Sorry about that. So yeah, she's now been in grizzling. So yeah, right. So definitely back to school tomorrow is all I can say. Right, there we go. So popped the lace on there. That looks quite pretty, doesn't it? Now, I think before I was interrupted, what I was trying to say was I don't want to put the lace on, like, you know, the obvious places, i.e. if I'm going to cut this on the, not the hems, but, you know, the sort of, yeah, the obvious places where it, you know, is going to want to be cut. I don't want to just put the lace where the edges would be, I suppose that's the word, the edges. I want to be a little bit more inventive, I suppose, or, you know, oh, creative, or, you know, kind of, yeah, just not being really predictable. So, you know, that's what I'm thinking, is go for putting the lace more kind of like just, you know, every so often, rather than, oh, in the obvious places. So like here, for example, it's going across here, which, you know, that's going to be, chances are, in the middle of a pocket. So hopefully that's kind of going to give me a little bit more of a creative, I don't know, creative vibe or something. I don't know really what it is I'm trying to say, but basically I'm just trying not to be going where the edges would definitely be, if that makes sense. So, you know, rather than kind of like just go round where, oh, that would be an edge, I'm trying to be a little bit more, or less predictable, I suppose. So like here, just going to literally put this like right in the middle of that. which is hopefully then going to make these a little bit more interesting when we come to actually use them. Who knows whether it will, but yeah, like that. So I might just put one more bit on just because I feel I've got a bit of a blank piece going on here. So again, just cut that header piece off, and yeah, just put that down. Oops, put that down in here like that. So this one is going across where, you know, roughly maybe where the header piece would be, not header piece, the, you know, the cup would be, I'm not sure. But anyway, we've got some different places, haven't we? So yeah, hopefully it's going to give us some interesting looks. So I'm going to take these to the sewing machine, and I'm going to just stitch the lace on. Obviously I have glued it on already, but I'm going to stitch the lace on. Then we'll come back, we'll probably cut them up. Maybe we will take them to the sewing machine at that point and trim them as well. I'm not sure. Not trim them, you know, well, I guess trim them, you know, frame them with some stitching. I don't know. Let's just see how it goes. So hold on. Right, so I'm back from the sewing machine. So I just want to kind of show you how I've finished these off. So I've done like random zigzags. I hope that the camera is picking this up because they're a little bit lost in amongst the kind of, you know, fussiness of the papers. Random zigzags, and then a zigzag stitch across, you know, across the lace, wherever the lace is. And I did that on obviously both of the masterboards. So I'll just show you these. Now I have to say they are so pretty. I'm almost like now wanting to hoard them and not cut into them. I mean, again, that's just what is wrong with me. But that's just what happens whenever I make, let's face it, well, anything nearly. So yeah, I'm kind of having now I don't now want to actually cut into these, but hey, let's be brave and let's cut into them. So yeah, I mean, don't they just look yummy, yummy, yummy? I really do love how they look, I have to say. So let's take the blue one first and we'll cut the blue one down. I have to say, I'm not sure which one I like best. I mean, I love green. As you know, green's my favourite colour. But I really, really love these pretty blues together. They look so fantastic, don't they? I just, yeah, really do love the kind of delicate, pretty, I don't know, it's just got a really summery feel. I mean, actually it looks cross between, it looks a little bit Mediterranean, I think, you know, like the when you get those pretty kind of like blue and white tiles and things in the Mediterranean, it looks a little bit like that. Or maybe just like that. I don't know what I was going to say, cross between that and something else. I don't know what the other thing was now. It's gone completely. So yeah, anyway, we will just say it looks a bit Mediterranean. And that was not my original plan for it, but yeah. But it still looks quite vintage. I know that sounds a weird thing to say, but it's still kept quite a vintage kind of vibe. But it's just got hints of the Mediterranean in with it as well. So yeah, absolutely love how it looks anyway. Just very, very pretty. So I'm going to cut this down. Now, obviously we talked about this before and said, you know, it's got kind of like obvious places. You know, for example, here you can see, I mean, that's an obvious place because that's like where the, you know, yeah, the natural kind of seam line is. So, of course, that seems like an obvious place to cut it. And then probably cut it down here, and then I'm going to trim these up because if I were to use these as a landscape pocket rather than a portrait one, they would actually then be too wide for an A4 sheet, if you see what I mean. So I'm going to just cut it down here. Now I will trim all these up. So I'm going to cut slightly over from the, you know, the actual seam line, if that makes sense. And the reason why I'm doing that is because there could be like a little sort of space in between, if you see what I mean. So hopefully by doing it like this, all I've done is actually kind of like cut straight into the glue line, which, you know, is kind of more what we want, isn't it? So yeah, that's that one. And then this, obviously I now need to trim here where we've got kind of the other part of that seam line. So again, just take that down very slightly like that. Okay, so like that. Okie dokie. Right, let's get rid of those little scraps. And then we're going to obviously cut this in. Now, yeah, I mean, I tend to use A4 pages for my journal pages. So obviously an A4 sheet would be this folded directly in half. Now, obviously this doesn't want to fold in half. It wants to fold here on that, you know, what's the, like, the obvious line. So I could cut it down there, or I could go over a little bit. So I think what I'll do is go over a little bit, like that. Now we might lose the lace from here because, yeah, it's probably not really glued on. That's it. So we'll just take that off. Now I've just got a little bit of overhang here. This was just from where I made the collage. You know, it's just got a bit of an overhang. So just taking that down. So that's my base piece. Oh my goodness, my cutting is dreadful today. So yeah, I apologise for my cutting. But as you can see, that then is ready for a journal. Now that still looks to me like it would be a bit wide to have on a page. So I'd either need to take it in fractionally if I was going to have it on the page like that, or we could obviously have it portrait, and then, you know, it doesn't need bringing in at all. So I'll probably do that on portrait, I think. So this one here, again, just take it in slightly. You know, I'm just kind of like trying to make it a better shape, basically. So yeah, we'll just bring that in like that. I mean, I have to say, they look so pretty. I love them even just with nothing on. They look gorgeous, don't they? So yeah, I really hope that you guys like them. They really do look very pretty. So we've got those two, and then the same with these ones. I just want to take probably slightly over to that middle line, or actually on this one I might cut it on the obvious line. The reason being is because I thought actually I can then have one smaller one and then one, you know, oops, one, oh my goodness, what is going on with my cutting? Yeah, this is not great. Maybe the squares are kind of showing my cutting up even worse than normal, I'm not sure, but it's definitely not looking good today. Right, there we go. And then this one we would then be able to have as a portrait one, because of course, you know, it's now too wide for the page, if you see what I mean. So yeah, I mean, it's kind of like giving us an opportunity to have, I guess, some portrait ones and landscape, which, you know, sometimes I forget to do that, and they all end up landscape or all end up portrait. So I guess this is quite a nice way to force yourself to do, you know, a couple of each. Right, this one just needs like it's, or just looks like it's needing a bit of tidying up. It's still very wonky. Yes, still wonky. Don't know whether it's those squares, like I say, that they're making, you know, throwing it off, because they're very straight lines. So of course it's you know, very, very obvious if your cutting is not quite on point. That one's my favourite piece. Isn't that just so, so pretty? I love it. So, you know, I'm sure that you kind of agree, when they're in the, you know, the square masterboards, they probably don't look all that, you know, interesting or whatever. But now they cut down, aren't they just gorgeous? I absolutely love them. So yeah, I'm definitely going to make some more of these square collage masterboards. They're really, really, really pretty. Right, let's decide how we're going to decorate these. So we could obviously use some clusters or something like that, but I thought let's do something, you know, not individual, but, you know, oh, what's the word? Well, not using clusters. That would be a good start, wouldn't it? So yeah, not using clusters. We're going to just, you know, kind of build up as we go. So I've got some fussy cut birds here, which I thought might be quite pretty. You know, just because the colours, I think, maybe lend themselves quite nicely to some birds. I have to say, I'm wondering if those are a bit small. Well, I mean, that's quite pretty, isn't it? What do we think? I have got one of my fussy cut flowers here, which that might look quite pretty on one of these, or it might look quite nice on the green. Oh, I'm not sure now. I wanted to be more adventurous than normal and kind of go with things that I don't normally go for. Oh, you see, the thing is, I don't know about you guys, but I just think if you try and push yourself outside of, not your comfort zone, because that's obviously good to do, isn't it? But you know, the things that you generally are drawn to, that you generally, you know, or yeah, genuinely have like a love for, to then do something that you don't have a love for, you're just not going to love it. I mean, like the birds, I love it when other people do the birds. Personally, for me, you know, that's just not the type of thing that I love doing. I love doing like the ladies and, you know, the shoes and all of that kind of stuff. So the second I put that shoe on there, I'm like, oh my goodness, I love it. if I put the flower on, I'm like, it looks okay. The shoe instantly looks, you know, to me looks awesome. Now, I don't know whether that is because it looks awesome as opposed to the flower, which only looks okay, or whether actually I just love, love, love the shoe as opposed to the flower. Let me know below. What's your take on this? Is it that the shoe looks amazing, or is it just that that's because, you know, I love the shoes and all things kind of, you know, oh, I don't know, like, you know, more like the architecture, the ladies, the things like that, rather than like the nature, the botanical, the birds. Let me know. What do you think? Is it because the shoe looks like wow, or is it actually just because, you know, that's the thing that I'm drawn to? Let me know. What's your preference? Which were you thinking looked amazing? Do you love the shoe, or do you like the flower and the birds and things? Right, anyway, I'm waffling on now. Just yeah, let me find my ink. Oh, honestly, everything's so buried on here, it's a miracle I can find anything. Although, to be honest, it maybe is a miracle, because at the moment my ink's pretty buried. There we go. Right. Okay. Right. Let's just bring my ink in. So, yeah, we've got this gorgeous shoe. Now, just inking it up a little bit. And then I'm just going to ink a little bit around the edge of this, you know, pocket piece. I don't want to go too heavy, because I am really loving that kind of crisp, you know, colour of the, you know, the whites and the ivory and things. So I don't want to kind of cover it up, but yeah, just a little bit to make it look a little bit more kind of vintage. So something like that. Now I've just got these little, oh, what do you call these? You know, like journaling spot labelly things. These are just from one of my Perfect Pocket packs. And yeah, let's just try these. Okay. Yeah, I love those square collage boards. Aren't they just so fun? I mean, to be honest, you know, I do think the collage masterboards generally, even if you're not that happy with them when they're a collage masterboard, once you cut them down into sort of pocket-sized pieces, they suddenly take on a life of their own, you know, generally. I don't think these are different in that. I think they all do that. But these do look absolutely gorgeous, I have to say. So, yeah, I'm really, really loving how they turned out. Oh, that's pretty nice up there, isn't it? But then I think, oh, you know, that's not really matching the shoe. So, yeah, perhaps I'm making a mistake with the shoe. I don't know. I mean, I've never felt that way before, because I really love that shoe, but maybe it's, you know, the wrong piece. I've just got some lace trim here. So this is ivory lace trim, which obviously, you know, we haven't got ivory on here exactly, other than the, you know, the masterboard itself, if you see what I mean. But what if we kind of like edged it with the ivory? What do we think to that? Yeah, that looks quite pretty, doesn't it? So I'm just going to pop this down on this edge. Now I'm just using my wet glue there. Okay. Oops. So yeah, this is some of that skinny lace trim. And sometimes it's really handy to just have some of these skinny laces. You know, just for times like this, if nothing else, because they just then kind of like fit, you know, when you've not got a great deal of space, because obviously that shoe, you know, is quite big on there. But yeah, you just sometimes need just a small piece. Now I'm going to try and just do a little bow from this. I don't know whether I'm going to be making a good job of this, because yeah, it's on the fly. Let's just tie that in. Oh my goodness, come on. Okay. I mean, that might be too big, I'm not sure. Let's just see what we think. Do we think that's like ginormous on there? I know it is kind of quite big, but to be honest, I actually think it perhaps looks quite pretty being quite big. We could have it at the top or at the bottom, kind of in the middle. Right, let's put the shoe on. Oops. Okay. So again, I've put plenty of hot glue, and I know I say these things all the time. I've put plenty of hot glue and I'm not pressing it in too far or too much. So it's got a slightly raised effect. Now, I say this all the time as well. The raised effect it's giving it, it's not like those, you know, what do you call them? The foam dots. It's not raised like that. It's just a tiny bit. But it just makes it a little bit more kind of interesting, I suppose, than, you know, if it were a completely flat piece on there. So yeah, just kind of a little bit more interesting. Right, let's just see if we want to have a label. So we could maybe just have a little label or something. Let's just see, where would we want the label? I think probably over here actually is nice. Do we like the bow? I think the bow is pretty, I must say. Yeah. Do we like the bow at the top or at the bottom? Let's just see. Yeah, okay, so I'm going to just put the label here at the bottom. Again, just hot gluing it down here. Just kind of for speed, really, but okay. Like that. And then, yeah, the bow, just going to pop the bow down. Like that. Okay. Oh, how pretty does that look? And I mean, literally, that's got nothing on it. I mean, it's literally got that shoe and just the label, the bow, and just the strip of lace. How gorgeous does that look? I mean, it just looks lovely, doesn't it? So yeah, just a lovely pocket to have on a page there. I mean, you could even put a thumb hole in it, to be honest. That would look quite pretty on there. I don't that often put thumb holes, but this one I'm kind of feeling like, oh, perhaps a thumb hole would look quite cool on here. I don't know. Yeah, I think a thumb hole would look quite nice. So yeah, that one looks really pretty, doesn't it? Right, let's do another one. Oh, let's see if I can pull it out the bag and do like a sort of naturey one. I don't know. Right, should we try this one? So obviously using a fussy cut bird here. Now I've got these fussy cut birds in my shop, but I can't actually remember. It's a long time since I made these, and I actually can't remember now whether these are small. You know, I can't remember whether you get small and big versions, if you see what I mean, or whether I've just printed these smaller, or if this is the size that they are. I actually can't remember, so I do apologise for that. Like I say, it's a long time now since I actually put those in, and you know, into my shop. So yeah, I can't really remember. And like I say, I mean, just birds, they're not really something that I use that much. So I used them a bit when I first put them in, and then I haven't really used them particularly since, because they're not really my, you know, my favourite things to use. So yeah. Right, let's have a look. Now again, I could do with printing off some more labels. So yeah, it's a bit of a shame because I'm down to kind of like not that many to choose from. Got that. I'm not saying that that's definitely kind of goes brilliantly with that bird, but it perhaps doesn't look too bad. Okay, let's just ink around there. So sorry if you can hear my son. He's downstairs banging around making some food. So right, let's try that there. Right, let's ink this up around the edge because I've forgotten to do that. So yeah, ink that around the edge. Okay. I mean, the other thing that you could do with these actually is you could do these on a 12 by 12, you know, like if you've got some, you know, old scrapbook papers that you kind of, you know, the ones that you don't like out of a paper pad, you could collage the tiles onto those. That would be another quite a good thing to use as your base. And I mean, you know, we've done things like that before where we've used obviously 12 by 12s as a collage base. But yeah, that would be quite a good you know, quite a good use of the 12 by 12s. Oh, that's probably a little bit small. Oh, I'm struggling again because it's the bird, I think. So yeah, I've just got this frame. Let's try this frame and see whether, you know, adding a little bit of like a vintage frame, what does that do to it? I mean, I quite like that, to be honest. It's quite nice. And then what if we had the lace running down the edge? Now, I'm just wondering actually whether we could have a postage stamp. I don't know whether I'm likely to have one in the right colours, but let's just see. Something maybe to kind of bring that bird colour in. I mean, that bird's really beautiful colour. Sort of bluey green. Oh my goodness, I can't even see whether that's up the right way or the wrong way. Oh, hold on. What's this? What is this? That's a good colour. So yeah, what if we have that over there? I mean, I know really the stamp should go on this side, but does it matter? I don't think it really matters too much. And what if we have a couple of stamps to kind of like just make a bit more of it? Oh, that's pretty, isn't it? Yeah, I like how that looks. So should we do that? Should we go for that? Okay. Right, so let's glue these bits down. So, right, let's glue my stamp down. And these are, you know, these are genuine vintage postage stamps. So, yeah, hopefully look, you know, they'll look really pretty. But isn't that a good colour match to that bird? It's really nice, isn't it? Looks really good. Honestly, I don't know what it is. I'm now trying to hoard this picture frame because now I'm like, oh, just going to check whether I prefer this picture frame or something. Oh, although I do quite like that, weirdly enough. I don't know whether the bird shows up enough, unfortunately, on those flowers, but shame because I do really like how that looks. Yeah, I love that bird with those gorgeous, you know, mix of the flower colours. It looks really nice, doesn't it? Oh, I don't know. What's going on? What is going on? I'm just going to try this instead. I mean, the bird looks fine on there, you know, as he is. He doesn't really even need anything, but I don't know. I feel like I'd like to put something else on because otherwise it doesn't feel like it's very interesting. Let me just see, because I've just got a few little bits here from my Perfect Pocket packs. Oh, what about this frame instead? Okay, let's just cut this one out. Oh, it's really getting chilly suddenly. Oh, I was feeling fine and now it's just suddenly gone really chilly again. Right, okay, so just cut this one out and yep. Okie dokie. Like that. Okay. I mean, you know, we could kind of colour this up by having like some fussy cut flowers and things like that on there. I felt like I wanted to keep it a bit more kind of, you know, not in keeping, but, you know, going with the background, if you see what I mean. So that kind of really pretty, calming kind of blues and beige. But yeah, I'm now thinking, perhaps we should, you know, mix it up and have some vintagey stuff going on. I don't know. My goodness, I love how that is. I mean, unfortunately, he is, or that frame is covering up the bulk of the paper, which is a bit of a shame. So yeah, it's possibly not the best thing on there. Oh, I'm now thinking perhaps I should put it on here. Oh, how about like that? So perhaps we'll keep this one for something else. And I'm thinking pop this on there instead. Right, let me just trim this down here because I've just got a little bit of a situation going on at the bottom. Just... I mean, it's not very straight, to be honest. I've not made a very good job of cutting this, but oh well. Right, let's ink this up around the edges. Okay. Well, that's a shame because I just used that turquoisey postage stamp, didn't I? Wonder if I've got another one in my stash. Now, do we like it up this way? I mean, that bird does look very pretty on there, doesn't it? Let me just have another look in my postage stamps and see whether I've got another one of those. I mean, I definitely would have probably somewhere. Whether it's in here is a whole nother thing. So,
There's a baby.
Hello, sweetie pie. Is that gorgeous little doggy with you?
Yeah,
Oh, here we go. There we go.
she's her bed.
Oh, hello, gorgeous, beautiful one.
Love her little yawn.
Yeah. Right, here we go. Loving this postage stamp. What do we think? That looks so lovely, doesn't it? Okay, yeah. Love it on there. Just looks gorgeous. Now, do we like it that way up or do we want it this way up is the question. I mean, to be honest, I like it both ways. I think I prefer it this way. So let's glue this down. Oops, the dog is now in and out of the room. She's only been with me for like, 10 seconds and she's already heard enough. She's like, oh, what? No, I hear enough of you all the time. There's actually other people around today in the house. I'm going to hang out with someone else. She does not want to be hanging out with me today. She's like, no, you're too boring. I have to hang out with you all the time. Let's find someone else today. Right, okay, so we've got that. Now, did we say we did want this lace? Well, I don't think we've tried this lace on this one, if I'm truthful. Oh, what about down that edge? Yeah, I quite like that. Now, what did I do with that thing that I cut out? Oh, what about that big bow? Because I'm just feeling like we need to tie in more of that colour. So how about like that? Yeah, love that. Right, so I think we will just go with that one postage stamp. So, right, we're just going to take that one postage stamp. So let's just pop that there. Sweetie, darling, could you just come and shut my door, please, darling? So we're just going to put that on there like that. Okay. Okay, and then this here, and then oh, where is the... I mean, honestly, I just that second cut this out, didn't I? Like 10 minutes ago. And yeah, I mean, I didn't use it, and now it's literally disappeared. Goodness knows where to. So, right, I'm just going to have to quickly cut another one out. So that's a bit annoying, but I don't think I used it, did I? No, I didn't end up using it. So Lord only knows where it's gone. Okay. So I haven't glued the bird down yet. I haven't glued the lace down yet. We will just kind of see, because we might want this going under the lace. We might want it over the lace. You know, don't know where we want the bird yet. So sorry, she did not come and shut my door. So you can probably hear her now laughing with the dog. So I do apologise for that. Okay, right. And then, yeah, I did like this bow. I mean, it is quite on the big side. So we'll just see. I mean, unless we have the bird a bit lower, kind of more like that. That's quite pretty, isn't it? I mean, I know that bow is massive, but it's sort of, you know, sort of massive and okay, isn't it? Right, I'm just going to glue this down here. So I'm just going to glue this with the hot glue. So like that, right. So we will just go straight down this edge with this. Okay, like that. And then just cut that down there. Okay, that looks pretty, doesn't it? Now this, yeah, I do quite like this on the top. I know it is quite massive, but I think that's okay. So then we could either have the bird here, like I know that means all of our stuff is kind of like going on at the top, but I don't mind that. We could have the bird sort of more hanging down, and that way we've, you know, balanced out all what's on there. we could have all of that up there and then the bow down here. I think I like the bow at the top, so yeah, just going to hot glue the bow like that. And the bow is going to like hang half on, half off, if you see what I mean. So like that. Okay, loving how that looks. And then the bird, I think the bird may be kind of to the side-ish here. Now, do we want this? And I went to the trouble of cutting it out, but now I'm not too sure whether we even want it or need it, to be honest. It might actually be cluttering it up a bit too much. What do we think? Let's just see. We could just have, I guess, half of it. Oh, it's so tough to decide, isn't it? Yeah, maybe it doesn't really need it at all. So I'm going to just hot glue the bird down. Now, the bird, I'm not sure really where I prefer it, whether I prefer it sort of further down or up. So it's going to land where it's going to land here. So, okay. Sometimes I think that's the best method. You know, when you can't quite decide, just go with the flow and think, well, it's going to land where it's going to land, and you know, then it's all fine. Just got that orange flower, and no, that's not got any place there, has it? It looked a bit weird, but I just thought I would try it because it was just at the side on my desk. Right, yeah, really like that. Do we want any bling? Let's see if I've got any bling here. I mean, I definitely have, but yeah, it's obviously all got buried on my desk, so I just don't want to sort of take up everybody's time looking for it. Oh, do you know, I had this sari silk. Why did I not spot this first? I could have put that down the side instead of the lace. Wouldn't that have looked awesome? Absolutely awesome instead of the lace. Kind of tempted to pull the lace off and go with the sari silk. What do we think? I mean, I don't mind the lace, but yeah, I think the sari silk would definitely look nicer. So, right, I've pulled that off. Okay. Oh gosh, I hope this is going to look nicer now that I've done that. I mean, there's no guarantees, obviously. So, right. So, take our sari silk. Right, going to start at the top. So, and this is just that sort of ruffling of the sari silk. We've done this loads of times on different things. Love how this looks. It's just gorgeous. My favourite way to use the sari silk. It just looks so pretty. And to be honest, it's so easy to just ruffle it up. It, you know, it just goes brilliantly. And it makes such a massive difference to your pieces, doesn't it? I mean, doesn't that just look awesome? You know, just from that little addition of the sari silk. Okay, and then down here. Oh my goodness me, doesn't that look lovely? I'm so pleased that I tore that lace off now. Yeah, definitely. That's like taking that to a whole nother dimension, doesn't it? It just looks gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. I mean, we could even do like a little bow. I don't think it really needs it. And to be honest, we've got that big part there, so no, I'm not going to do that. Right, okay. So after all of that mucking about, we've really only kind of achieved two because obviously I've been filming for a little while now. But we have got these two obviously ready for another day, and we've obviously stitched, you know, on the green one, ready to do that one as well. So yeah, I really hope that you love them. Like I say, definitely I loved the process of doing the squared collage. So I'm going to do some more of those. Love how it looks in here. It just looks a really pretty background. So yeah, I really hope that you like the finished pieces, and hopefully you feel inspired to maybe do some of your own. And thank you so much for watching. I will see you guys tomorrow. Thanks then. Bye.